What's up guys and welcome back to Slice. Now I know it's been a while since our last Struggle Meals episode, but we are back and we've got a fantastic recipe. So to make this you'll need 300 grams of giant couscous, one whole lemon, one whole pomegranate, a whole butternut squash, and some stuffed vine leaves which you can find in any Mediterranean shop or a lot of supermarkets these days. And finally you'll need 1 tin of chickpeas, and a whole bunch of mint and a whole bunch of parsley. Okay, so to start with, I would normally recommend doing all your prep first, but in this case we have to cook our lemon as it takes quite a while. So you're going to start by taking your lemon, washing it on the outside and cutting it into really thin slices, the thinner the better. And then in a pan you're going to heat up equal parts of water and sugar, bring it to the boil, drop your lemon slices in and then leave it on the side to cook very gently for about half an hour. Okay, so back to our board, and we're going to start by prepping our butternut squash. You're going to take the top off and half it again into quarters. And now what you want to do is work your knife around the skin very carefully, trying to remove as little flesh as possible. And once you've discarded the skin, a lot of people try and throw the seeds away. Definitely don't do that, there's a big use for them. If you scoop the seeds out into a sieve, rinse them out in some cold water, and then pat them dry in a tissue, you can actually roast these at about 180 degrees for about 10 minutes with a pinch of salt, and they're perfect to go on top. And once you've done that, you can thinly slice your butternut squash ready to be fried in a pan. Okay, so putting your butternut squash to one side, we are going to start on our herbs. Normally I would keep the stalks if I was cooking with parsley, but in this case, because we're eating it raw, I'm going to pick the leaves off, roll it into a tight bunch, and roughly chop it as thin as possible, and then go over it once more just to make sure they're really nice and fine. And the same applies with the mint. I'm going to pick the leaves off, bunch them together, slice it up, and finally chop it. And now onto the pomegranate. You want to take the top off to the point where you can see a clear cross section of this, and as you can see, the pomegranate has natural lines which separate the seeds inside it. And you want to work your knife along the skin, which I've really badly shown because I took it off camera, but there we go. Work your knife along it and carefully pull apart the segments, which will naturally come apart very easily. Now bring to your murder scene a bowl of cold water, and using the back of a spoon, tap your pomegranate very hard and the seeds will sink rather to the bottom, and the husks will go to the top. And then you want to drain the water out and keep the pomegranate seeds to one side. And after that you can roughly chop the lemon, keeping that lemon syrup to one side for the dressing. So now over onto the stove, on a medium heat, we're going to heat up some oil in a pan and fry off our giant couscous for about 2 minutes. That's nicely coated. And then you can add about double the amount of couscous in boiling water, season it with a pinch of salt, and simmer it for about 10-15 minutes until it's cooked. And then in a frying pan you want to add a bit more oil and fry off your squash bit by bit at a time, seasoning with a bit of salt and pepper and sauteing by flipping the pan. And this is a super simple recipe. I mean, this is basically it. So I'm just going to make a quick marinade by putting about 100 milliliters of lemon syrup into a jug along with our chopped herbs, good pinch of salt and some black pepper. And then you want to mix it in with some oil. I'm using some rapeseed oil, you can use olive oil, whatever works for you. Give it a good mix with a fork, and then we're going to assemble our salad by mixing our couscous with some pomegranate seeds, our chickpeas and our cooked lemon. And then you want to mix in your dressing. Now a lot of people would assume a vegan salad to be quite boring, maybe quite dry, flavorless, but this is packed full of flavor. It's not dry at all. It's almost the consistency of risotto at this point, and you can serve it while it's warm or you can serve it cold, however you'd like. And I'm just going to put some butternut squash on top of this, and you can put however much you want. And then I'm going to finish it off with our vine leaves. And you know what, I mean, for someone that eats meat practically all the time, I'd say vegan food is pretty decent, you know, it's not too bad, it's very refreshing and it's healthy. and it only comes in at £2.10 per portion, so it's super cheap as well. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, please like, subscribe, and follow me on my socials at slice_YT. Before one of you comment, oh, what happened to this? I burnt the seeds, okay? I burnt them. It happens, you know, what can I say?